Lars Rasmussen, thank you for joining Business Spectator. I'd like to start off with just asking you, what is Google Wave, and just what sort of potential does it have in transforming internet usage?
So Google Wave is a new tool. We just actually launched it finally after 6 months of having it in an invitation-only mode. We launched it just a few days ago so that anyone can go to wave.google.com and try it out. Mm-hmm. It's a tool that helps you get work done faster. Okay. And we talk often about how email is the tool we all use in our work, and how that's actually a 40-year-old technology that was invented back in the very infancy of computers and computer networks. Mm-hmm. And really a tool that was designed just to mimic paper mail. And so with Wave, we're trying to take a new and more modern approach to how we communicate and work together on the internet that we believe will make things work faster. And so in particular with the Wave, instead of an email where we send around messages and everyone gets a separate message a separate copy of each message and it can't be changed after the fact, a Wave is a single conversation that we all share that lives on the internet and that we can visit and update in real time. And it has the effect that where once you have an email thread that gets even just a few messages long that involves more than a few people, it gets very difficult to keep track of who's seen what. It gets very difficult to correct something if you made a mistake and make sure everyone sees the correction. But in a way, because it's a shared conversation object, you can always go in and add another person to the conversation and they can see everything that's transpired. And we even let you go and edit things if you make a mistake. Even if it's a spelling mistake or if you said something wrong or things have been updated, you can go in and edit a message after the fact. And once you get used to this new mode of working, you realize that you can achieve your goals much faster than what you see.
From a business point of view, this is again essentially a tool, an application that will help efficiency.
That's right.
And I guess, like you said, help decision making.
Exactly.
And what sort of response have you seen from, during the invitation phase only, what sort of responses have you seen?
So we've seen where we saw a lot of excitement because it's a new tool and it really does make you faster. We've seen a bit of apprehension too because it's a new model of working. It requires a bit of a learning curve before you can really figure out how it works. But where we found Wave really making a difference right now is when a small team of people have a specific project they're working on and everyone agrees to adopt Wave, spend a little bit of time figuring out how it works, and then quickly they start seeing how conversations reach their goal faster and how conversations in Wave makes it easier to extract the product of your work afterwards without having to go through and read through lots of different long email threads to figure out what was actually decided. So
how much time went into the development of Google Wave?
We worked on this for a couple of years actually. It's all done in Sydney with a team of people there, and so it's been under development for a while.
Okay, now you were also instrumental in the development of Google Maps.
That's correct.
Now I just wonder, with Google Wave, there's always issue of privacy that comes up whenever Google is mentioned. And I mean, just in general with internet, with Facebook, and all these new applications that are coming into the public domain. With Google, how important is the issue of privacy when you're actually devising these applications?
It's huge. Privacy and trust in general is everything, and I think that's not just true of Google, but it's true of any technology that involves humans. And you do run into times where there's sometimes a trade-off between issues like privacy and then the utility of a new technology. And I think it's very healthy that when new technology is introduced, there is a debate about the privacy implications. I'm sure that when telephones were first devised and suddenly we had private conversations running through wires that go through big companies, there is privacy implications there. But the utility of a telephone is so overwhelmingly positive that we're willing to, and in fact very excited to make that trade-off. And the way we approach the question at Google, which I think is the only right way to approach it, is we want to make sure that people understand what the trade-off is. And we want to make sure that they can easily make those trade-offs. And then we often see that people choose in favor of the utility of the new tool. With Wave, which is a communication tool where we want people to do their work. And so making sure that people can control exactly who gets to see the discussion is incredibly important. Like, we want Wave also to be used in public settings, but for every single wave or conversation, you can choose exactly who gets to see that wave, and everyone can quickly see who's, if you come late to a wave, you can quickly see who has access to this particular conversation.
Okay. Now, in terms of the development of internet technology and applications, it took us a fair bit of time to, to move from the first telephone to what we have to iPhone. But it seems development now, when it comes to technology, is almost exponential. It's so quick. Firstly, I mean, what is the future of information technology within, say, the next 5-10 years? Are we going to see more applications? Where is the next real hotspot?
So I think mobile computing is probably where there's the most exciting and quick development. Just the sheer power of the devices that you can get now, the size of the screen, the ease of use, and so on. Like, even if you look just 5 years back, most phones were just, phones, but increasingly they're becoming computers every bit as powerful as the thing sitting on my desk or on my laptop. And I think it actually dramatically changes how we do computing when we're out in the world. Yeah.
So it kind of changes the way we work and the way we play, isn't it?
That's right.
So, I mean, in your experience, how has internet usage changed, say, in the last 10 years? Are we moving, like you said, more and more mobile computing?
Yes. So I think personally, more and more I use the internet from smaller and smaller devices in more and more places. It's not long ago where actually looking at a website on a telephone was a horrible experience. But now it's actually absolutely tolerable, and then the added benefit that you can do it wherever you are overrides the fact that your screen is a little bit smaller. We saw this with Maps too. Actually, it's sort of obvious that Maps is the thing you want to have with you wherever you're going, and we'd always known that. But when we started out with Maps, mobile devices were just not powerful enough to give you a decent user experience. And that actually changed dramatically with it was the iPhone that I think really made that shift, where suddenly those kinds of applications became viable on mobile devices. Now, of course, lots of different devices can do it. Google, as I'm sure you know, provides software, the Android operating system, which also has a very good Maps. And I think it's not far out into the future where most, and I'm just talking one specific application, where most of internet mapping takes place on mobile devices instead of laptops or desktops.
From the point of view of innovation in Australia, are we doing enough in this country? How do we rank up to some of our, say, regional neighbors or globally when it comes to the amount of money and the amount of human resource that's going into this sort of development?
So you'll never get me to say that we're doing enough in this space, of course. I think, I have to be honest with you. I'm an engineering manager. I spent most of my time in the office working on specific projects. So I don't often get out and kind of take a big view of what Australia is doing in this space. But I get asked so often by people who seem frustrated about entrepreneurial opportunity in Australia. That there is definitely an issue here, and I've also observed that just over the past so many years, the number of young people that take up high technology in schools is in fact dropping when it should be increasing, and I think it's cause for concern, and I think it's something that Australia should do something about. Not entirely sure what is the right answer. It has to come from both sides. It's not enough for the government just to pour enough money into it. There also has to be more of a sort of a can-do entrepreneurial spirit among people that are looking for more opportunities.
Thank you for your time.
Sure thing.